and I'm the political editor of Corriere Canadese. I must tell you that I'm not used to be on this side, and I don't even feel comfortable, so I hope to be, and I'm going to be very short. I want to say, however, that I'm very proud to be here today to say that our newspaper is sponsoring a cause that, an initiative, and we hope that none of us is going to be interested. We are going to need it, but there are thousands of Canadians that definitely they need for a transplant, and sometimes it's only because we are not sensitive and we don't know enough. We don't do what we can to help others. But there is someone that is very committed to this cause, and it's George Marcello, an Ontario organ recipient, and he's the founder and CEO of Step by Step. It's a Canadian non-profit charitable association, and he will be in Europe to collect information in order to present some of those ideas here in Ontario and help everybody to work together to solve and to go ahead with this such an important initiative. So is Giorgio Marcello, and I'm sure that he has a lot of things to tell us, and you have a lot of questions to ask. Giorgio.
Thank you, Angelo, and good morning, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank Multimedia Nova for sponsoring the European tour, as well as believing in what we're trying to accomplish here, and to be a witness in our process. And to Alitalia, who are contributing all the flights. My story: almost 10 years ago, I received a life-saving transplant with 2 days left to live. I'm alive today thanks to a top-rate hospital staff, and I owe my life to the individual who died and the family that made a courageous and unselfish decision to donate organs. This individual saved 5 other lives as well as mine that day. Many organ recipients, including myself, are living normal, active, and productive life. Many medical communities a result of not receiving this precious gift. There is nearly 4,000 Canadians presently on the waiting list. The sad news is that Canada has continued to have one of the lowest rates in the world for many years now. The sad news is that many families have not received the comfort of donating their loved ones' organs. The sad news is that potential solutions to this dilemma have been neglected and ignored. We are here this morning to address these problems and to unveil our 2-year initiative called SOS 4000, and to bring light to NDP Peter Cormo's opt-out bill. He had his first reading in November 2004, and there's a copy of his bill on that table over there for people to pick up. The European tour is the first step. It's our first external step. From June 1st to June 15, I will be visiting 5 countries which lead the world in organ donations, and representatives of organ donor groups will host me. They will provide me with comprehensive information and show me how their countries address these issues. In total, 22 countries had changed their organ donor laws to opt out, and in every one of these countries there was a dramatic increase in organ donations. It's about time we start looking at this in Canada. The Canadian Organ Task Force, a committee that has members, that will have members from every party, will handle the report I bring back. This report will be viewed by all Canadians to consume so that they can have more knowledge. Many Canadians are unaware of this progress in Europe, and they need to see what's going on there. A questionnaire will be presented to Canadians. Canadians' voices are needed. The SOS 4000 campaign will begin on the road by January 2006. We're going back out on the road. Many of you have probably heard of our last campaign, Christopher's Wish, the young 14-year-old boy that needed a transplant and walked across Canada. Sad news is he's still waiting, and good news is he's got a spirit that keeps him alive. And this time we're going to have Christopher pass the torch to the first of 100 students that will relay this torch right across Canada. And during this time, the questionnaire is going to be passed throughout every community. We want to make sure that every Canadian gets to see this questionnaire. And we're targeting to have millions of Canadians voice their opinion. And one of the questions that will be on there is, do they want to change the system to opt out? As the CEO and founder of our charitable organization, Step by Step, I am responsible to many by exhibiting a very professional manner at all times. As a liver recipient and a very passionate and honest person, I sometimes really find it hard to hold back on my feelings. I have experienced many frustrations with government officials and related government groups. In 1999, I walked around the province of Ontario and organized about 50 press conferences. I was screaming to get Premier Harris's attention. The Premier responded to my pleas, and in his second-term throne speech, the Premier made an incredible announcement. He announced that his government was taking steps to invest $120 million and double the rate of organ donations by 2004. Premier Harris invited me to see him shortly afterwards, and I seen the sincerity in his eyes when he said that there would be no stone unturned to get this job done. I thought I met God as he said these words. Along the way, a strange twist happened. A few months later, our report and our recommendations were all neglected, as well as being rejected in having any role with this new committee that was formed by the government. We still don't know the answers to date why that happened. In June 2000, I started up my 12,000-kilometer 500-city walk across Canada. We were trying to reach the federal government as well as the media and Canadians from coast to coast. During this time, Ontario Liberals were defending me by saying that I was being neglected. All parties were hearing our recommendations. During this time, I had the opportunity to have an audience with Pope John Paul II. Just as important, I made contacts with European groups while I was in Italy. All provincial and federal groups did not respond to our recommendations. On January 2004, we launched Christopher's Wish, the 14-year-old boy who needed a liver transplant all his life and agreed to walk across Canada so that people can hear our pleas. Christopher still needs this transplant, as I mentioned earlier. And the Liberals that were defending me, I feel that they're presently rejecting me. Two Ontario governments, other provincial governments, and our federal governments are not listening. They are neglecting to seek another alternative that has great potential in solving